Crypto can be a war zone. As we all know, scams are rampant in DeFi right now. Okay, the last 2 years we've been in a nasty bear market. Lots of tokens are down over 95% from their all-time highs, and people are getting desperate and turning to unfortunate measures. Now, how bad is it? Well, according to CertiK, over $997 million have been lost to scams in 2023 alone as of August. Now, there's still 4 months to go in 2023 from that date, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that number exceed well over $1 billion. However, most of the time you can identify these scams before they happen, so today we're going to be going over 5 different things that you can do to avoid 99% of the scams in this industry. Alright, now welcome to the drawing board. So the first thing you always want to check when you're looking at a token in DeFi is the liquidity locked? But what exactly is liquidity and why should it be locked? Well, let's quickly explain that. Now, the first step in the genesis of any token is somebody has to create the token. But once someone creates the token, they then receive all of the tokens created in their personal wallet. So let's say this developer just created PepeCoin with 1 million Pepe tokens. He now has 1 million Pepe tokens in his wallet. Now, if the developer wishes for the token to be tradable, he has to create a liquidity pair. So what that looks like is putting the tokens that were created and putting them with another token, such as ETH, USDC, anything that already has a value. Now, once the liquidity pair is created, users are then able to use decentralized exchanges to swap their tokens. So whether you're a user trying to sell your Pepe coins to ETH or somebody trying to buy Pepe coins with ETH, every transaction on the token will route through the liquidity pair. So in short, the liquidity pool is the pool of funds where everyone's money is stored and goes through when they are buying or selling the token. And if you sell, for example, you are taking ETH out of the liquidity pool and putting Pepe coin in. And now if you buy, the opposite is happening. So you're taking Pepe coin out in exchange for putting ETH in the pool. Now, the idea of locked liquidity comes into play when you consider that, hey, this liquidity pool is still under control of the original creator. So if the creator would like to, he can take this liquidity pool, use it for his own purposes. All of the investors' funds, all of the traders' funds, anyone that's got money in the token, the developer can pull that in what's more commonly known as a rug pull. If the liquidity were to be locked, it would be inaccessible by the developer. However, users would still be able to trade the token, and therefore the liquidity pool itself would remain safe. Now, there are plenty of other factors that come into play when talking about token safety, so let's go ahead and take a look at number 2 now. Alright, so now that we've covered liquidity and what it means for it to be locked or unlocked, the second thing that you're going to always want to check is the token a honeypot? Now, what is a honeypot? Well, a honeypot is when users can buy the token, but they cannot sell the token. So as with all tokens, the developer creates the token and then creates the liquidity. However, in a honeypotted token, the functionalities within the token's smart contract disable sells. Now, this is done because when people buy into the honeypot and can't sell, the chart essentially goes up forever. I mean, you won't see any sells in the transaction history. Now, that chart going up can cause FOMO and play out people's emotions to make people more incentivized to buy, even though it's a scam. So while a honeypotted token might look like a token that's doing very well, eventually they all meet the same fate, which is the developer removes the liquidity, often leaving you with a chart that looks like this. So hopping over to CoinScan here, you can tell if a token is a honeypot or not very clearly just opening up the security tab and looking at honeypot right here. No, it is not a honeypot. So that covers the second thing you need to always make sure of is, hey, is this token a honeypot? Because I need to know that if I buy it, I can sell it and take profits or even cut my losses. So now that we've got number 2 out of the way, let's hop over to number 3. Buy and sell taxes. Now, if you're looking at the top 100 tokens, even the top 1000 maybe, most widely adopted tokens don't have any buy and sell taxes. However, when navigating DeFi, it's not uncommon for lots of new tokens to have buy and sell taxes. So what are they and when are they dangerous? In short, a token with buy and sell taxes is going to take a portion of the funds from your buy and a portion of the funds from your sell and send it to somewhere else. Now, most commonly, these funds would be sent to what's called a marketing wallet, which is essentially a way for projects to fund themselves, but it's important to check that you're not giving too much of your money away to these taxes. Now, this is not to be confused with capital gains taxes, which vary depending on country. This is an aspect of the token itself where you cannot transact it without paying these taxes. So now, if you buy 1 ETH of a token with 10% taxes, you will receive 0.9 ETH worth of tokens. Therefore, the token then has to rise 11% just for the tokens you bought to be worth what you paid for them. Now let's say that you bought an ETH worth of a token with 10% taxes and the token has risen 11% to where you now have an ETH worth of tokens. If there's sell taxes, you are then going to get taxed again on your sale. So if a token has a 10% buy and a 10% sell tax, not only does it have to rise 11% for your value to be what you paid for, but then it has to rise another 11% for your sale to be worth 1 ETH. So in short, you can expect to pay a total tax of the buy plus the sell tax. So in this case, it would be 20% if there's a 10% buy and a 10% sales tax. Now that means the token itself has to rise roughly 20% just for you to break even. Now, I think it's clear why you want to make sure to take this into account with any token you're trading, as sometimes taxes can exceed 30-40%. Now, if we're hopping over to CoinScan using this PayPay token as an example, we can see the tax buy and sell is 0.01% buy and 0% sell. So typically this would be regarded as pretty safe. 0.01% buy, you're probably not going to really notice that. Now, of course, there's times when a little bit of taxes are acceptable. Every project needs funds to run. Some projects derive those funds in different ways, but really I would be extremely cautious with any token that has over 10% buy and sell taxes. So that wraps up number 3. Let's go to the 4th thing you always want to check. Now, is the contract verified? So the code that creates every token in existence is called a smart contract. Now, these smart contracts can either be open or closed source, meaning the public can either view or they can maybe not view what the code of the token says. And naturally, the ideal situation is the smart contracts code is indeed open source and anyone can see what the code of the token says. Now, token functions such as the buy and sell tax, maybe max wallet, max transaction, or a plethora of other functions are all dictated in the smart contract. So when it's verified, it's very transparent what the token's technology is capable of. And when the contract is not verified, you really don't know often until it's too late. So hopping over to CoinScan, we can hit the Go Plus tab in the Security tab and see, yes, the contract is indeed verified. Now, if you actually want to see that token's code with a verified smart contract, you can go ahead and hit the Etherscan icon. Brings up the token page. Now if you go to contract, you can see here we can actually read the code that the token runs on, so it's extremely transparent. So that wraps up number 4, and really that's just about the importance of transparency within crypto, right? If a project has good intentions, is not intending to scam its users, it's probably not going to try to keep the code of the token hidden. Now that we've got those out of the way, let's get on to the 5th and final step that you need to follow to stay safe in crypto. Now, this step is really wrapping up everything we just talked about and combining that with doing your own research and coming to a conclusion that you're confident in. Now, some of the best practices here are checking out the token's public profile. Now, what does this mean? I'm talking about website, social media channels, community rooms, white paper, and whatever other information you can find on the token. So again, using PayPay as the example here, we can go ahead and check out their Twitter, 525,000 followers, not too bad, followed by some mutual followers. Hey, it's looking decent. A frequent, heavy social media presence, this is a pretty good sign. Now we can also take a look at the holders, see what the distribution looks like. Now here we see there's 138,000 shrimp, so there's a ton of small holders and really not that many large holders. We've got less than 100 people here with more than 0.1% of the supply. So it's safe to say that PayPay is quite well distributed, although some of these top wallets do hold quite a bit. Overall, looks pretty decent. And lastly, we can check the chart, see what the sentiment is like. Okay, it's safe to say PayPay is not where it once was, but the rest of its fundamentals check out, so you could say that it is relatively safe to trade. Now, it is important to mention that nothing is ever 100% in crypto. Okay, even if something passes all your checks, there's always risk involved. As we've seen with Luna and FTX, things can change in an instant. Regardless, following these 5 simple steps will help you navigate crypto and steer clear of 99% of these scams. So good luck out there. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and join the CoinScan communities for more valuable content on how you can stay safe in this world that is crypto. It can be tough at times. It's extremely volatile. We know, that's why we're here. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys shortly.